Well, he is stuff.
All right, here we go. Movie Shoehorns. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Mountain Standard. What are we talking?
What does that mean, Eric?
I don't know. I got nothing tonight. I got nothing. I got to get out of here.
You got no energy, Eric.
No energy. I got to go.
You got a hot date tonight?
Movie a 9 out of 10. Fantastic movie. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about on the movie Shoehorns with Shitty Beatles, Travis Scott, Benjamin Wilma, Ja Morant. Shitty boy. We were talking about Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, a 2007. Don't have Wikipedia pulled up, but I would call this a
directed film.
Sidney Lumet
last before his death.
Yeah, I was gonna say his last film.
Drama, just a drama, straight drama. Is this what this is?
Wasn't very serious.
How many people had seen this before?
I'd seen it like no more than 10 years ago, or at least, I mean, more than 10 years ago.
I wonder if you and I watched that when we were living together.
Possibly.
That sounds gay. When we were roommates.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They fucked. They briefly dated, but they're straight again, which is cool. And even when they were gay, not that there's anything wrong with that. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, it was.
Except when they made out. That was weird.
It's the same thing. They just showered together.
May you be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead. You see that? That was
what is the meaning of that?
To me, that means.
Is that not lyrics from something?
Hopefully you can sneak into heaven and experience what I don't know, even though you know damn well sure you're going straight to fucking hell.
But who experiences heaven for 30 minutes in this film? For the
Phillip
devil
Seymour
knows.
Hoffman.
Phillip?
To me, kind of.
When did he experience heaven?
In whatever country they were in.
In Rio? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. I think you're right.
Well, I'm going to start off at the top, and I'm going to say that Marissa Tomei is a goddamn smoke show.
Dude,
and the fact that I hadn't seen this movie and that, oh, good God, what a tight bod.
Dude, her body in the beginning is...
Wait, are we talking about Tomei right now? Because that was by far the best part.
That's all that stood out after, obviously other things stood out, but that was going to always remain for me. At least I saw that, you know?
If I've seen that movie, I'm 100% sure I've seen that movie before because I knew what was going to happen.
You cranked down.
But I might have started watching it after the first 20 minutes when you get the most coverage of Tomei.
She's just walking around for 3 minutes.
Well, it makes me wonder about her, what possesses her to be naked constantly in films? Is it
proud of her body?
She knows she's hot. She likes being hot.
Still hot.
Well, Travis, I know you read the trivia. Did you read the blurb about the sex scene?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Bring that up.
Bring it up.
Yeah, so apparently Phillip Seymour Hoffman was not quite comfortable with the idea of being naked and fucking on screen. And so I guess before they started shooting the scene, Marissa Tomei, who's already naked, got up on the bed on her hands and knees and slapped her ass and said, "Come on, Philly, let's go."
Oh my
God. I was like, "Oh God!" And they were like, any inhibitions he had were gone at that moment.
So we could just do this about Marissa Tomei with the movies, okay? But we could just talk Marissa.
Well,
Tomei.
You know what? I never really saw a lot of Marissa Tomei movies growing up. I had sort of a blank thing there. I never saw My Cousin Vinny.
Seen it.
Anyway, I just never really saw Marissa Tomei, and now that I've seen Marissa Tomei in a few things, that Seinfeld episode is just the best thing in the world. That George is obsessed with her.
Yeah.
God, they fucking nailed that with the hottest woman in the world.
Yeah.
So fucking hot.
No, she did My Cousin Vinny and this, and had a couple really big hits all of a sudden, and then she kind of disappeared for a while. I don't know. I don't think she started a family though, because I don't even think she's married, but I don't know for sure. But then all of a sudden, I think one of Eric's favorite movies, The Wrestler, she popped back up in that, and that kind of sprung her back into she got the part as Aunt May in Spider-Man, and what else was she in? This.
Thanks for knowing that about me. That made me feel good.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So,
You were the one that introduced me to that film.
It's a good movie.
This is nice, dude. I like.
It's a great movie. That should be one we definitely.
All right, but can I just say about The Devil Knows You're Dead? One thing that I loved about this movie is the stakes are constantly raised. Like it just goes, it's here, and then it's here, and then it's here, and it never stops fucking escalating until the end of the fucking movie. I mean, just in the beginning when it's like, okay, they robbed the bank, and then you see the woman, and you're like, oh my god, is that his mother-in-law or something? And then no, that's his mother. I mean, that's his brother, and it just keeps fucking building all the way until the end. I fucking loved it.
Well, and that's why watching it again and remembering what was happening sucked, because I hated everything that was happening. I was like, this is so fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same, because I obviously remember the beginning's very memorable and I remember the end, but I kind of forgot about the middle parts. So I actually wrote down, I was like, for you, it sounds like you've seen it, Ben, but you and Wyatt, what did you think when that woman got shot? Because you don't know that's their mom, right? Like,
no.
Well, I did.
That's for like
no, I had no idea, and that's what I mean. It just kept like surprising you and upping the tension and conflict.
The way that the guy, like, I don't know, I had a weird feeling because of the way that the old man said, like, I love you, he said to her as he dropped her off. It didn't feel like a night worker maybe I could say that in hindsight, but I swear I had a slight inclination that was more than just some woman working there, because she was just, I don't know, it just didn't seem right. It didn't seem like that type of person would be working by herself at a store like that. Unless she was an owner.
I thought it was interesting when the sons first arrive at the hospital, Hank's asking where their father is, because he assumes that it was their father and not the mother. And then when he finds out it's the mother, he's like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah. And also
that was like Travis was saying, the stakes went up even higher when right.
It was confusing as well, because he was yelling Andy, yet you didn't even know who his brother was.
Well, right, and I did forget the name.
Robber,
so
I just assumed was
thought
him.
the robber, yeah.
I was like, oh, but as when you looked at him, you were like, okay, obviously he's tall. He doesn't look anything like Phillip Seymour Hoffman. That wasn't Phillip Seymour Hoffman, but still, I was like, who the fuck is Andy?
I knew it wasn't Hoffman that got shot.
Well, it was very confusing for me, because I didn't know who Andy even. I feel like didn't even know that they were brothers, or you know what I mean. At that point, it was quite confusing.
That's what I mean. The way they sort of led you to information after the fact was, it kept me very entertained the whole time.
Yeah,
I was loving that
non-linear fashion.
Yeah, very dynamic.
See, I actually didn't enjoy the way they presented everything.
Boom!
Wanted it more linear?
3 ball.
Yeah, I thought that it was too cut up. Like,
yeah, that was weird the way they did it. It was kind of like cool, but also like I didn't really get the purpose of that at times. How they faded it into another scene, it didn't necessarily, I don't know. They weren't related. They weren't fading like I don't know. The cuts were very odd.
Yeah, I agree.
They definitely went for something crazy, and that can either like not sit well with you or really sit well with you. It landed for me. I thought it was money.
Well, back to that Andy scene, I want to superimpose that on top of like after Andy Kim, a.k.a. Slices. Andy, no, Andy, what have you done? Like when he's like golfing and just having a bad round. Oh, no.
What Andy scene are you talking
thought about?
After the robbery goes
when he's in the car yelling Andy.
You don't remember that whole fucking freak out?
Which one's a couple where
his initial, after he sees him get shot through the door and he's just like yelling to himself.
That's Hank, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Hank is yelling Andy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought he was yelling his friend's name, calling him stupid.
Had any of you? I forgot to check. What year did Phillip Seymour Hoffman die?
I think it was 2011.
I was wondering that too. I should have.
Yeah, that heroin scene was.
Or no, 2013. I think it was like 6 years after.
Had you guys watched anything in that that had him in that time frame?
Oh fuck yeah, yeah, sure.
I'm not sure I had, because it was really weird when I heard him talk for the first time. It like I felt like I was listening to a dead man, and I was.
Oh no, I mean,
what do you mean?
Like it just was it was odd to hear his voice, because it was like, oh, you don't,
You haven't watched anything with him in it since
I don't
then?
think so. I really don't think so.
he's the truth, man. It's seriously so sad. He's one of my probably top 5, maybe 5, maybe 10, definitely 10.
This was one of the good trivias. Sidney Lumet, the director, said that the scene between Phillip Seymour Hoffman and Marissa Tomei in the car when Hoffman has his breakdown was one of the most extraordinary scenes of acting in which he had ever been involved.
Yeah, Ben, are you crazy? He was in a Mission Impossible, like
Mission Impossible 3.
No. I'm not saying I didn't watch his movies. I'm just saying I don't think I watched any after his death.
Oh. Yeah, I think I still did, because like Moneyball, did he die? Oh, that was 2011.
He didn't have a huge role in Moneyball, though.
He was still good.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Oh, hey Nick, I didn't even notice you joined us.
No, you're right. You're right, Ben. He really, yeah, that's true.
So we got to the, it's not my fault scene, I think is what he's yelling the whole time.
Well, that's kind of
no, he says it's not fair.
It's not fair.
Oh my God, no, we haven't got there yet. Oh,
I jumped a little bit ahead.
That's what he just. That's what he just was talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that was the scene.
But also, I thought Marissa Tomei was awesome in that scene too. Because imagine being like having
her facial expressions while he's acting or he's interacting with his father. Her facial expressions in the background are so good.
Yeah,
like
really good.
She's so believable.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, that scene where she finally tells him that she's fucking Hank and then asks for money anyway. Yeah. That whole scene, she was so good in that scene too.
She's really good in this.
I mean, just their whole dynamic was amazing.
See, this was like another movie where I loved the performances, but like as a whole, like it had.
I would agree.
There was no redeem. Like the ending, I was just like, yeah, that's on par for the movie. It's just
like, when did I ever want to sign up to watch a movie that convinces you it's a good idea to kill your kid?
Well, Phillip Seymour Hoffman needed. I mean, at that point, he was on it. He needed to be. He needed to
Didn't you recommend on the Pines? That's not fair, Ben.
I didn't recommend that.
Very similar.
Brought it up.
Very similar.
Didn't you?
Yeah. No, he was psyched about it. He talked about
I was literally just reading off movies that I owned, though.
Jerk off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to watch movies about bad people.
Ethan Hawke, they put forth great performances.
Oh, I was gonna say, apparently those three were friends in real life, like close friends.
Like from New York or some shit? All from New York?
I don't know.
You know who I completely forgot was in this movie that was like a great surprise? Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude.
Oh, my God, I forgot about this. Fuck
hey, I'm going to pop in here and totally do exactly what Michael Shannon does.
Mind if I call you?
There was a funny trivia fact.
Chico.
Call
you Chico?
Chico? That shit's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to paraphrase.
What did he call Hoffman?
Yeah, I'm going to call you Grumpy or Groucho.
Groucho. Groucho.
Oh, yeah. Remember we talked Holly Flax is just like just the biggest bitch, dude. That was kind of like I didn't know she was that like she'd been acting in things for that long. Like, dude, she's been in everything. She's fucking great. What do you mean? She's like she's been in shows, amazing movies, like
she's got pretty small roles.
I've never noticed her in anything else.
Oh, dude, it seems like she pops up all over the place.
I
mean, The Wire, The Office, like two of the greatest shows
she was in The Wire.
Yeah, you're right. The Wire.
Multiple movies.
Oh yeah, yep, The Wire. Jimmy's love interest.
Fucking great in The Wire. Yeah, dude.
All right, here's the Michael Shannon. I'm just gonna paraphrase it real quick. The trivia.
Chico.
He read only one line before the director told him he could leave.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And Michael Shannon, uncertain, got up to leave. And heard the director tell the casting director, "That's who I want."
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was the
After
casting
one
director.
line.
He's a
Michael
stud.
Shannon is fucking money, dude.
He is just he's great.
Oh boy.
He brings a fucking weight to anything he does. Like I like Man of Steel. That's one of my favorite comic book movies, and it's mainly because of I will find you.
I will find you.
Cut me off. If you guys have already been over some of this stuff, just cut me off since I'm late. But I thought I like about this movie is that Ethan Hawke, he plays meek, which is not usually what he's like. You know what I mean? Like he might be low key in movies. Like Training Day, he definitely is submissive, but he's not like a bitch. And then towards the end, he comes over top. Same thing in like Gattaca, where he's got a mission and he's gonna end up on top. This he plays a complete scared bitch the entire time, and I thought he's like,
you're right.
I think it's just such an interesting, different role for him that I really like.
The argument why it made these three actors put on a damn good performance, and that is undeniable, I think. But
and the father too. I think you can include
the father.
Yeah,
he's like so.
There was a note in the trivia. How about this?
Of Ocean's 11 fame, that's the only thing I know what he's been in.
The cast features 2 Oscar winners, Phillip Seymour Hoffman and Marissa Tomei, and 5 Oscar-nominated actors: Ethan Hawke, Albert Finney, who's the father, Michael Shannon, Rosemary Harris, and Amy Ryan. I don't know who they are.
Amy Ryan is Holly Flax, you fucker.
Really? Oh my God, she's been nominated for an Oscar?
She's a star. God damn you.
Best performance.
No.
Gone Baby. She was in Gone Baby Gone, which I have not seen.
Dude,
you know who I give it?
This was obviously not a similar movie, but in comparison with the
Rosemary Harris is the mother.
It's like Banshees of Inisherin, like a movie that I don't enjoy movies like that are kind of dark and kind of the ending is just like, continuously dark, but just amazing.
Shit happens.
Yeah, but this kind of had more of a concrete ending than Banshees, I feel like. But I get what you're saying. You don't kind of like that dark. See, I think this is right what I like. This is my sweet spot. I like
it for me.
So I did find out where that saying comes from. It comes from an Irish drinking toast, which appropriate that we would bring that up the day before St. Patty's Day.
Banshees of Inisherin.
Well, was it Irish or was it Scottish?
Irish.
Okay. May your glass be ever full. May the roof over your head be always strong, and may you be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead.
Hey, cheers, mate.
May you be fucking Marissa Tomei and Rio for a little while before you
do
a bunch of bad shit.
Before your dad snuffs you out with a pillow.
I thought it was a little shocking that we got to see like almost full bore Hoffman right there.
He was going at it. As I turned the movie on, I was first of all, I watched this in the morning. I was a bit startled.
So did I.
He's
I
just attacking her.
I'm like, at 7:45 in the morning.
Who is this poor woman?
See, movies at 7.
Like Kelsey had just walked out the door. I was like, whoa.
And you immediately had your putt in your hand, and it's crazy how that works. Dude,
like Step Brothers. That's like Step Brothers with the nachos and with Will Ferrell.
Exactly like that. It's exactly.
You know who I'd give an Oscar to in this movie? The guy that runs the pawn shop. The creepiest guy.
You like that
guy? Well, apparently he was a well-known actor, and this was his last film.
I'm sure he's like money. He's clearly good, but I'd never seen him before.
I did not expect him to be like, I don't know what he said to the dad was crazy.
The whole case open.
Yeah. There's evil in this world, and
that was sick.
Some people are getting profit of it, and some people are getting destroyed.
I just like that he kind of like he's been around long enough, and he just knows bad. He deals with bad people all the time, and he knows. He just knows immediately what's going on. He's like, I saw that card come.
Dude, that drug den was pretty. If you don't want it, that makes you want to do drugs, kind of like this is the lavish.
You don't want none of this, do we?
I love Phillip Seymour. That's probably my favorite monologue of the movie is him talking about how perfect the spreadsheets are that he works with, and then how he just loves the simplicity of it, but his whole life is just chaos. And he likes heroin and spreadsheets, and everything else is a fucking mess.
What he said specifically was like how you can go down and across and everything adds up, but he's like not the sum of my parts. Which I agree. That's probably.
Nick, were you saying that he was already addicted to heroin, like at this point?
Before his career, like when he was,
I think he was always addicted.
He was 23 years sober when he finally overdosed, but he was sober in this movie. But this might have led him.
But that's kind of hard to believe. Like you can say that all you want, but as a former drug addict, I told a lot of people that I was not doing drugs when I was definitely doing drugs. So
that's what I'm saying. I think he was doing it potentially his entire career.
Regardless, I think it's pretty bold to be doing that role if you're a heroin.
That made me sad.
You have to go somewhere to.
Well, even worse if you're like a recovering heroin addict. I mean, if he's still doing it.
My question is: obviously, he went to the hotel to shoot up. What was he sniffing in his office? Was that coke or was that?
It might have been heroin. It was probably heroin.
I think he is just doing all kinds of drugs at that point. He was off. It probably was coke, but.
But no, you could sniff heroin, bro.
I know there is a form of heroin that you.
Yeah, because it wasn't like white. I don't want.
But you brought up the spreadsheets, Nick, and I had already, just because I deal with this stuff a lot, but auditors and stuff. But I had already kind of suspected, and just because of what kind of how this movie was going, but I already kind of suspected, he was cooking the books or whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
Was that whole thing about the spreadsheets being beautiful because he was, cooking them? Or you just think it was, that was how the spreadsheets are no matter what?
I guess it's interpretive. I don't think there's a right answer. I just see it as he likes how clean that can be. Even if you're cooking it, you can prove things out how you want it to be. And everything adds up either which way. And there's no way out of it. It's like a perfect prism.
Yeah.
And but he himself is like, he can't be that perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like so fucked up. I don't know. It always stuck with me.
Yeah, no, that was a crazy scene.
Yeah, I think it's just an analogy for how he felt. Like he had an unevenness to him. Like a spreadsheet has a grand total, cross and down. So he was just saying like, I am all like everything inside me. Like there's something that shouldn't be.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah. And that's what I took. He pours all the rocks out and he's just like staring at him.
That was a really crazy scene.
What was his deal with?
All back to that kind of monologue. Almost.
What was his deal?
Thing here.
Well, he knocked shit over and like I thought he was gonna do something on one of the shelves or something, but then he did not. It was so weird. That was
awesome.
Well, it was deep. It was deep. It was deep. That's what I'm saying.
He was gone.
Dude, that was like realistic. That was like I think that's a real true human emotion. Like
in this movie, I would like we could figure that out.
I feel like that's the equivalent. Like obviously, this director is a big swinging dick for decades, right? And you have a Michael Jordan actor with you, and you turn the camera on and say,
"Do your thing."
Hey, Jordan, just do some Jordan shit for a bit. Here's some notes, and just do it. And I feel like he just kind of I feel like the rocks and stuff were probably just him being him and just getting in the bed and undoing the covers and shit. And just completely becoming unhinged.
Did you notice
that's good. That's
one of the scenes when he was in bed with Tomei that he was like rubbing the back of his hand on her tits? I thought that was great acting right there.
Great cupping acting.
No, he wasn't even cupping. He was using the back of his hand. He was just like
back cupping.
He was just like rubbing lightly back. I was like, man, Tomei really let him go all out on this.
Dude, she's a go-getter. She's trying to get that Oscar, dude. She's trying to get another. When they showed her little butt, did you see like the silhouette of her butt? I was like, is that a naked ass? Like it looks so. It was ridiculous. It's fucking. I can't believe this movie.
Well, the craziest thing is like I think I had only ever seen like I said, I think I missed this part of the movie when I first watched it, or it was blurred. Maybe I watched it on some kind of cable channel. The only other experience I had to Tomei like that was in, I think, The Wrestler. And that was her older, and even older, it was top notch. So, like, she's something else.
She's similar to Nicole Kidman, where I feel like their agent has something in their contract where they have to show their tits. Like it's like, all right, I'll do it, but I have to show my tits, okay? They're like, all right.
Acting. That's acting.
You don't have to ask twice.
No, that's acting. I love that. That's the way to do it. I thought the plan.
Well, I'm sorry. If you can act fully nude,
I thought the robbery was pretty fucking stupid. Like,
if you think about it,
if you think about it, like you're gonna rob your own parents' store,
hey,
and then what are you gonna be doing?
I'm looking at you.
Like, what are you gonna be doing? Like, the cops aren't gonna look at. Oh, my son disappeared to Guatemala. Like, I don't get that. Was he that insane to think?
Well, I mean, it just all went wrong. The mom wasn't supposed to be there. The dad, dad took the test. It was his whole dominoes thing that led to it.
What was gonna happen though? What was gonna happen?
But the other guy wasn't supposed to be there. It was just supposed to be Hank. Like, if she's like, "Oh, aren't you my son?" Then okay, game over. Nothing bad happened.
Phillip Seymour Hoffman is an idiot because he's trusted that little pussy to do it. You know what I mean? I don't get.
Well, it was so obvious that he resented the shit out of his little. I almost wondered, did he hope that something bad would have happened to him while he was set up?
I thought that was the plan to fuck. That he had found out he was fucking his wife, and he was trying to fuck him up.
Yeah, whatever.
He probably already knew. Yeah, he wasn't an idiot.
No, it didn't turn out to be that way. But during the movie, I thought it might be going that way.
Oh, dude, this is not PC, but I mean, there was so many the bad F word drops. I mean, this is our type.
Oh man,
he called him stop being faggoty.
When he said, "Pick up the phone, you fucking faggot,"
yeah, I was like,
I immediately thought about you guys. Like, that's a Marty chat.
Pick up the phone, you little. Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, 2011.
It's definitely a throwback to a older era. You don't see that anymore.
No.
You wish you did.
He hates stuff on counters. Too many things on counters.
But I don't know. I mean, again, like we're saying, I really love that whole thing of. I mean, if we talked about this with Back to the Future 2, Dark, season 2 has that one episode. I love seeing shit from different angles. And, like, I love how in this movie they show you several scenes from different angles. That shit, I love that shit.
It's perspective. It's really, really perfectly used. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this movie was, I love the way they threw everything together, man. I don't know if you were here, Nick, but Ben and Wyatt, I think, didn't appreciate that. They thought it was too crazy.
No, I just didn't think it was as purposeful as it should have been, the way they were cutting scenes together.
But I think originally that's what kind of drew me in the first time I saw it. And to be honest, I did not watch it this week. Like, I just didn't end up watching it, but I remember enough that...
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I remember in the first... It starts off more or less with the robbery, right?
And
it stops and goes like... And then goes somewhere else, right? To another part of the story?
Yeah.
Linear.
I feel like that is what kind of drew me in originally, where it's just like... I want to know what's going to happen. It's kind of easy hook to get you going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was effective for me, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, it was very effective for me.
And something, you guys probably had already looked this up. You guys are looking up trivia and stuff. Was this nominated for Oscars?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
And I was going to say, like, this is one of those movies, and I don't know if this other one was like that too. But I equate this in my mind. I kind of tether it to a movie like Eastern Promises, where it's like, it's a movie that's so good and it operates, like in my opinion, operates on a high level, but it doesn't really have true recognition. You know what I mean?
I've never seen Eastern Promises.
How does Phillip Seymour Hoffman not get nominated for this movie?
Yeah,
that's what's weird. Like, it has to be something.
That shit's fucking pointless, dude.
It's freaking crazy.
Dude, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Ben, are you gonna defend your little Oscars, people?
Everything Everywhere All at Once won every award. It did not deserve damn near.
Oh no, I'm not saying like if it gets Oscars or not, but you expect like a movie like that at least to have some type of buzz.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care if it got nominated or not.
No. I'm saying this movie.
I would not be surprised if the way it was if the way it was cut was what probably got it nominated.
To me, the performances in this movie trumped every single performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie was corny as shit compared to this. This was a legitimate movie where people were pouring out their fucking like souls.
Well, I mean, you may not. I mean, this is a movie I don't know if you could really appreciate it in 2007. I mean, I don't know how people thought about these three actors, but now in 2023, you know that fucking all three of those are fucking some of the best in the business.
I think this is post Training Day, and Phillip Seymour Hoffman was a big swinging dick by then for sure.
Yeah.
No, he was a stud.
And you're saying the Finney guy he was a big actor. He's a big actor too.
Yeah, have you seen Big Fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
he's the dad.
He's the older version.
Yeah.
I forget what.
Oh, he's the older version.
He's awesome, obviously.
But he was doing stuff when he was younger. I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
That's where his fame was from.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know his early work. I only know him as an old man. But like when you see him, like in the scene at the house when he pretty much says he doesn't fuck with him as a son, you know, him and Phillip Seymour Hoffman together doing shit like that is just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy acting. Like, you feel like they've known each other their whole lives and they have some real problems, and that's sad, you know?
Here's a question I wrote down. Do you think he was his son? Do you think there was any truth possibly to the fact that he was not his son?
I think he wouldn't have slapped him if that was the case.
Well, the implication
I think he wouldn't have. He might not have
cheated on him if that was the case. His wife had to have cheated on him with another.
Yeah, right.
If that wasn't his son, so maybe that's why he slapped him.
I don't know. I also read in the trivia that originally Andy and Hank were not supposed to be brothers, so there's also that.
That's crazy to me because it seems like just the whole story revolves around family. The idea that they wouldn't be brothers is really interesting.
Yeah, and clearly he had problems with how he chose their jewelry shop anyway. Like Ethan Hawke's character would not have done that because he was more of like a family.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The first few scenes where him and Hoffman are together, it certainly kind of gives you more of the impression of someone who might be like a close friend other than his brother.
Yeah, that's true. I was confused as to why.
Like when he said, "I've always been a prick," that doesn't like say something your brother would say to you.
I didn't think they were brothers until he said, one of them said brother,
Right, exactly.
Why did Hank not notice his dad's car? I don't think he looked away, but he kind of like he
drove right past him and he did this.
Yeah, right. But still,
Laura and I were talking about that. That didn't really add up.
That was not Hank's car. He had rented that. Did you guys?
No, I know, but
pay attention?
His dad drives past him, and he like goes like this so that his dad doesn't see him.
He's wearing a mustache and glasses.
You're not getting it. You're not fucking getting it. We're talking about why did Hank not notice that it was his father's car?
He did. That's why he was going like this.
Yeah, I know, but the whole plan was that his mom wouldn't be there.
Yeah, so then he knew that.
Right, things start falling apart.
There you go. Okay.
I feel like that's the
right. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
I
didn't even think that he knew. Like, oh fuck, that's my dad's. Like, I was just wondering, like, what is he?
They have someone who covers his shop, and I think they even implicate that sometimes the dad will drop or the mom will drop off.
Okay.
To like cover a shift.
Oh, the dad drops off the other person too. Oh, that would make sense.
I want to say they kind of bring that up.
Yeah, now you say that, you might be right. That would make sense.
Yeah, so you would think he would have been looking out the rear view mirror or something and seen that it was his mother.
But the UPS truck was blocking it.
Oh,
Okay. Also, his character's a fucking idiot. Like he had
never done a crime in his life, so like, he was pissing his pants.
If only he knew.
He picked a really smart guy to help him.
Yeah, that guy was a stud. If only he had gotten Michael Shannon.
He comes off as so fucking stupid. He might be the best actor in the entire movie because he like I completely believe that guy is that dumb.
He's got to get in the
He's
zone.
definitely been an idiot in other roles I've seen him in.
But it's also like a deadbeat fucking loser. Like he just can't do anything.
Well, and the wife, or not the wife, the girlfriend, I guess, the baby mama, she didn't even seem that like.
Oh no!
After Shannon, she seemed more worried that Michael Shannon got shot and potentially killed than she did about the father of her child being.
No, that was the best part. She didn't buy the cover story because she's like, I don't buy that bullshit about the rental car. My man would have just stolen the car.
Yeah, I mean, they're seedy people. That guy, that's the best part about him, how like low life he is that he thinks he has it together. He talks about his process, I think, and he has to get in the zone with that music.
Dude, yes.
Garbage collector.
I was like thinking, what would it take? Like, how does that help you get in what zone? What zone is he getting in with these breathing exercises?
The rage zone.
Yeah.
I hope you watch this, Zach. It's a little Zach Mejikas for you. That's what Zach would do in that situation.
I don't picture Zach doing that in his car.
No,
that guy was way taller than Zach.
What the fuck?
Did anything come of him picking up the CD?
No. I thought that was a setup at first, and he was gonna get like nabbed as soon as he left that fucking place. You know what I mean?
Spent a couple of scenes on it. I feel like it
was just him being too paranoid again.
Yeah, he was such a fucking pussy. Pickup.
Yeah, I mean, what was the point of that?
I loved when they started tying together the phone calls, and it was like him calling Marissa Tomei, like, I can't talk right now. Like, I was like, the dad heard that too. He had to have thought that was very peculiar, you know, like that's not what
he might have been paying too much attention to the son, though.
Well, Andy walks by right when she says, Andy needs my help now. I mean, that was one of the scenes I was talking about. They showed that scene from a couple angles.
Give it to him.
Give it to him. Basket.
This is one of those movies that Serge liked it, but he hates how low life they are. Like he just doesn't like those people.
Me and Serge are like this.
He's like, it's a good movie, but man, like it's hard to watch people like that. Like that's like he doesn't like that at all.
No, that was what I was thinking the entire time I watched it because I had seen it before.
Garbage.
And I was just like, as soon as they started doing all this bad shit, I was like, man, I remember I fucking hated watching this movie because these kids are so, like, if I would kill them too if they were my kids. Like, fuck this. Like, they're making such deplorable decisions.
I think that's why it works for me. If they had been more redeemable, better people, then this would have been a hard movie to watch. But since they're kind of bad people, you know, bad stuff is happening to bad people. That's not that hard to watch.
I always felt like, and I think you're supposed to, do you feel for Ethan Hawke at all? Like, not at the end, but throughout the journey. Like, do you feel like...
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. No, like, I think I felt for him.
Like, I
didn't really pity him. He's like, because he's like fucking his brother's wife, but yet he wants his brother to be...
I didn't pity him at all.
No, I thought he was just a moron.
Throwing that out there. I mean, he is a moron for sure, but I feel like he's so meek and like just so pathetic that I can't help but be like, that's so sad how you are.
I don't know, because he hired a dumb fuck that was so dumb he didn't even realize that's how dumb he was. So it's I don't know.
He essentially killed his mother, you know?
Yeah. It's also to that, like you said, I don't feel bad for him, but it's almost like the dad treated Phillip Seymour Hoffman like shit, and then he does the same to his brother, like that past trait shit. So that's why, like, I feel like Phillip Seymour Hoffman was a bigger piece of shit, but he had his brother under his thumb. So they're both, like, really, it's Phillip Seymour Hoffman's fault for starting the whole plan. But I mean, everyone's at fault. Like,
well, he's desperate to be happy with his wife, but in reality, there's just nothing that really is going to make him happy. He's a tortured individual. Like, I think he's just searching for anything that's possible, but I really don't know if he even thinks it's possible, you know?
I loved how, like,
anything is possible.
It kept coming out, like, the auditors were finding more and more. Like, yeah, they've been finding out that you've been paying, 2 people who were fired, and I forget what the other thing he was doing was.
He said that there was taxes that hadn't been paid.
Yeah, a bunch of tax. But the whole time he's like, yeah. I'll be in tomorrow. That's no problem. Like he was just he never like was like cracked or.
No, do you remember what he said to Tomei when she was leaving, and the first thing she said was, "Your boss called. He really needs you to call him back. Are you in trouble?" And he says, "No, they just really miss me."
Yeah, they miss me.
Have you ever seen the movie with Phillip Seymour Hoffman where he plays a bank? It's a true story. Owning Mahoney.
I read about that today.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds pretty good.
It's not like done up as well as this movie. Like it's got Minnie Driver. It's got problems. Right?
Oh, Minnie Driver's another good one.
No. But he plays a really.
She has a huge head.
It's a really interesting, and I can't believe it's a true story. That's a fascinating movie, actually.
That's nuts.
What's it called?
Owning Mahoney. He plays a Canadian banker that has a huge gambling addiction, and he siphons off money from the accounts that he has. So he takes people's money and he uses it to gamble, and the stakes get higher and higher, and it's a true story. And he's like flying. He's in Canada, and he flies down to Atlantic City, or he drives to Atlantic City, and then they start putting up in Vegas, and he starts going back and forth, and he's like this big whale. And they want him to keep gambling with them. And then, anyway, I'm not gonna
all the money's gone. Yeah.
Sounds a lot like
doesn't take a genius to figure out where that's.
Sounds a lot like Uncut Gems.
Yeah, it does.
But slightly different, situation.
Well, it's nothing like Uncut. I understand what you're saying, but it's like he's a very quiet thing. It's like there's no intrigue. He doesn't drink. He like doesn't do shit except for gamble, and watching him like be nervous and shit, he's so fucking money. Anyway, sorry.
No, he literally is.
What are the best Phillip Seymour Hoffman movies? Because I need to know if I haven't seen
Capote.
them. I need to watch
them. Lights brought up Capote before.
That's his best?
I don't know about best.
It's up there.
It's tough because he's so seldom the leading guy. So Capote stands out because he's Capote, right? But I think some of he's fucking amazing, but I like him. I really like his subtlety in Boogie Nights. His like closeted homosexuality, and he's younger. Like that's really good.
Never seen that.
You haven't seen Boogie Nights?
No.
You haven't seen Boogie Nights?
I haven't seen that.
That's
one of the reasons I like doing this. I have a lot of gaps.
This
man.
is great. Yeah, dude, there's a million movies.
I think my favorite was Crocodile Tears.
Yeah, he's.
Along Came Polly.
I've seen that.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you're an excellent villain, the best funny man, good
Crocodile Tears is the name of the film.
Funny man, huh? Funny guy.
We have to mention this movie, Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah, I want to watch that, dude. Nick's been hyping it.
Schenectady.
Yeah, I remember I was not like a huge Mission Impossible fan.
How much are you gonna win, Wyatt?
I was
it's not that much.
Blown away by Mission Impossible 3 with him as the villain.
He's very good.
That was what brought me
another one cooking though.
Streaming back into Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
He's really just great in everything. Like
I got OG Ananobi and Scotty Barnes a little something cooking.
A fun fact: when you guys watched, when we watched, what was it called? The one I recommended, Manhunter.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
The Red Dragon, the guy that plays it. I know we already connected the dots that he's in Synecdoche, New York. He plays the older version of Phillip Seymour Hoffman's character in that, and I do not think people will like that movie. Like I think it will be split here, and I think at best people will give that a 7 out of 10 just because it's too much. Like it's a lot.
Schenectady.
It's too much in what way?
So Schenectady is the place in New York. That's an actual location. Synecdoche
means the place beyond the pines.
Synecdoche means all the things that connect together. So it's a play on words, and that's the idea of the movie: is that there's like no backwards and forwards, and that It's Charlie Kaufman. That's all, played by Nick Cage.
I thought Schenectady meant a place beyond the pines, and that's why.
They do a play on words about Schenectady, New York.
I just explained it.
Yeah.
I know, but where am I getting confused?
I think you're right. That's what I looked that up at when we did Place Beyond the Pines.
It was a different word, but it was similar.
Different but similar.
You're not getting it, Eric.
Eric, come back to us, Eric. Yes.
Schenectady, New York means
Eric.
Place Beyond the Pines, New York.
Oh.
They made a movie called Synecdoche, which is a play on words about Schenectady. And Synecdoche has some other meaning about the connectedness of everything.
Schenectady is a city in Schenectady County, New York.
Now search the title of the movie.
Anyways, we don't need to get into that.
We don't need to because I explained it.
Anyways, me and Sergio are aligned on this one in terms of we appreciated the performances, but the overall scope of the story was a bit dark.
It's a darky.
Oh, ain't that.
All right, is the darkest moment Phillips? Why does Phillip Seymour Hoffman kill the guy in the heroin?
At that question.
It's an
Why
easy kill.
That guy?
He treats him like shit.
Is he killing himself? Sort of.
I was gonna say it's like he's killing himself. He's putting that guy out of his misery. He's assuming that he's just like
his life is as bad as his own.
Yeah.
I think you can get it multiple ways, but yeah, I think he was so broken. Then he was like, just sees that fat piece of shit and realizes that's him, kind of like. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I wrote that question down too.
That moment just totally blew my mind.
Yeah.
The amount of time that it took him to shoot the guy in the kimono, though, like that pissed me off.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Because he stood there and held the fucking gun for like a solid 3 count, and the guy just stood there holding a knife and didn't move, and just said when he got shot.
Yeah, I
mean,
that was the weird thing was he didn't feel like it didn't seem like he wanted to go through with it. Like I think he was just fucking losing it. Like I don't know. Well, obviously, but I don't know. Like,
well, I'm sure he was high at the time too.
I think he's just spiraling.
Yeah.
Once those rocks fall, everything starts to really.
It was just weird.
Yeah, that was his marbles falling out.
Me marbles.
I lost my marbles.
I've lost my marbles.
Mr. Marbles?
Now let's talk. Now that's a scene. When my man Toodles comes through with that scene and Hook, that's fucking Phillip Seymour Hoffman-esque shit, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just okay.
How about the genius move by the dad though to take when he starts taking his shirt down? I completely forgot. I was like, what? What's he doing? I actually forgot what happened. I was sick.
That was weird.
No, he had. I mean, it makes you wonder if maybe he was up to some shady shit in his earlier days of his life.
Well,
he knew the fence.
He raised them.
Yeah, he definitely was. He even say so.
Apples don't fall far from the tree. Maybe Dad wasn't so innocent after all.
Right.
And maybe Dad somehow really knows the guy at the pawn shop pretty well.
That's what I was just saying. He knows the fence.
Bad guy because they bring that up in that scene that they have a past. That's why he was so happy to be like, oh, it was your son that came in, by the way.
Yeah.
Were they gay?
Remember when you called me a crook and you went straight after being a crook for a while, and now your son's a crook?
He's in the jewelry business. Like, he obviously was doing shady shit back in the day. Maybe he's straight now, but he definitely wasn't always.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we really dissected this.
Notes to go to that guy. Like you said, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
But we can all agree the best part of the movie was when Marissa Tomei was naked, right?
Yeah.
The beginning?
Well, her and Phillip.
No, anytime she.
Well, I think the very beginning, because her body, I just couldn't believe how perfect it was.
Did she get naked in My Cousin Vinny?
When she's with Hank, I think that was when you got the best look.
The Hank scene was better for me.
Her on getting fucked off.
Did you know that Ethan Hawke offered to get fully nude for that scene to make her more comfortable, and also
I would
also demanded the rest of the male men on set get naked.
Yeah.
so
hey,
that she'd
Marissa,
be
we're
more
all gonna
comfortable.
fucks sprout boners here.
It's
while
Hollywood, man.
fucks you. How's that gonna make you?
If that doesn't show you that some weird shit's going on there.
No.
How is that more comforting to her to have
What?
them naked with their puds out while she's naked?
Exactly. Like I wouldn't feel more comfortable. Like you've just removed a layer that protects me from your penis. Like
Well, it's a power
it's like when
play.
they're
You
it's
know,
like when
and
they're
the people
like
in the
in
clothes are looking
Seinfeld.
down.
It's like in Seinfeld when they realize Kramer's gone commando and there's like, what does he say? Just a thin layer of gabardine separates us from him and us.
Thin layer, gabardine.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
God, I love him so much.
Yeah.
Wish
Last
any
question.
dude were as good as him.
Last question I have, hypothetical. What happens to Hank?
Holly Flax murders him.
I think he.
Not one day later.
I think he probably goes to the cops and ends up in jail because he admits to everything and he gets out of having to pay his wife. Whoa!
I think the dad
All that
forgives
matters.
him and helps him get out of trouble because that's how it is.
I bet maybe, but I guess they could just try to pin everything on Andy, but that's assuming that he really wants to coddle the other kid, but I don't think so. I think that he probably confesses and goes to jail, like straight after leaving that apartment.
Yeah, I think it's either that or he's just so dumb that he ends up getting caught anyway. And either way, he's going to prison. I think he ends up in prison.
Yeah, highly likely.
Kind of like Nick said, he's so meek that I just don't see him finding a way out of it. And I feel like he had so much guilt that's why I agree with you where he probably might just turn himself in because there's no way he's getting away.
I think it would be interesting if his dad does what Andy says and just like totally forgives him. Like he kills Andy for his role in the whole thing, but then then Hank, he's just like, "Come here, my son. We'll make sure you don't go to jail for this, and I still love you."
I would 100%, in my opinion, imagine that he killed himself.
I can see that.
That was going to be the other way I went, but I didn't want to go that dark.
I actually think he's too much of a pussy to kill himself, but maybe at that point, because he definitely wanted to die.
If you look at his face when he's leaving the scene and throwing the money at her, you can tell that there is so much guilt inside of him at that moment. Like he doesn't understand why he doesn't understand what just happened to his brother. He doesn't understand why he's being let go. Like he wants to make retribution to that woman because he said that before his brother got shot that he said like you can't kill her. Like that's the one thing you can't do. You can't kill her. Like
but like I think Phillip Seymour Hoffman's character is amoral. He does not have. He's done. He doesn't give a fuck about anything.
He just wants more money to make his lifestyle work.
Hank is 100% like he understands morality, but he's too weak to follow it. Like he can't carry it through. So he's always noticing.
I think that he was under too much pressure from his wife and his daughter to provide everything that they wanted to be able to stay in their good graces since their marriage had been.
Economic reality definitely dictates his actions, but he knows what he's doing is wrong.
He can't give his daughter $130. She calls him a fucking loser to go to the next thing you see, he's getting wasted at the bar. So he definitely had money to get wasted at the bar.
Yeah, he's a fuck up.
$130, but it's like he chooses the wrong path. Like he could get $130. He
constantly chooses the wrong thing, but he knows what the right thing is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that scene kind of illustrates that. It's like this guy he's so selfish he can't do what's right because he's a fucking loser.
Yeah, he has no backbone at all. And Phillip Seymour Hoffman has the backbone.
And that's why, it's like, you're going to do it, not me, because someone saw me in the neighborhood the other day. Like, what? The fuck is that?
I love that excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he knew he could get him to do it.
He's just so stupid.
See, Pat,
he paid off his own brother. Here, take $2,000 up front. No,
I can't do it.
Yeah, dude. It was just really a stupid scheme.
All right. Are we ready to give final ratings or what? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd give this a 9.5 out of 10.
He's ridiculous.
Love it.
I mean, really, I could go to 10 because I had a hell of a time watching
God,
this
dude,
movie.
you're right. I can't like.
You have to. Do you understand my rating system, Wyatt? Can you understand it?
No.
If I thoroughly enjoy a movie, that's up for a 10 out of 10.
No,
that's what I ask of a movie. If it delivers, I will reward you in kind.
Whatever, dude. That's your choice. It's obviously your choice, but I can also give you shit because that's fucking ridiculous.
You watched this movie at 7 in.
That was
People
bad.
People are way too stingy with their ratings for no reason.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want with my ratings just as well as you can, but and you can give me shit, and you can
do
wait till I get my rating.
Rate it however you want.
Yeah, I will.
I give this a 9.75 out of 10.
Jesus,
Phillip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, he
Ethan
gets a 9.75. He gets a 9.75.
Marissa Tomei. I loved the editing, the different perspectives. Loved it all. Milked it up.
What an original plot. Let's rob a store, and it's our parents' store. Whoopsie-doo.
It's the execution here. It's
the execution of what? The botched robbery?
I mean, a lot of the best movies are, there's nothing original about the story, the writing. It's just fucking executed to the T.
Hey, I'm here to give shit, all right? Give grief and have a problem with every.
I'm saying, and I think that's why they did cut it up that way, because it's like, well, it is kind of this heist gone wrong movie, so it's like, let's tell it in this different style, maybe.
It's a heist gone wrong, but the heist is so secondary. It's like a conduit to explore the problems of the family.
Well, it's to get the ball rolling down the hill of just hell.
Dude, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, looking back at Phillip Seymour's filmography or whatever, he's not been in enough shit that he really didn't get his due justice as to how good of an actor he is. Go through it. Nothing stands out like a couple.
I think Nick said it. It's just because he was never like the leading man. He was always like the.
He's so good. It just makes me sad. Like
we were definitely robbed of like. Hollywood just didn't realize what they fucking had on their hands. They never put him in.
I think it's just up to him. Like he chose those roles. Like he probably could have been a leading actor if he wanted to, but he doesn't have like the star face for it. But he obviously has the chops to fucking.
I mean, was he ever nominated for like best supporting actor or something?
He had to.
Yeah. So like, think about the major ones where he at least plays a dual role is like Doubt was one he was front and center, right? Where he plays the priest.
Best supporting actor nominated for Doubt.
For Doubt.
Doubt would be a supporting nomination act. The Master, he was definitely a supporting act, like the leading supporting actor.
He got nominated, and he also was nominated for Charlie Wilson's War. Sorry to cut you off.
He won. Awesome, Charlie. He plays the second man.
Damn, that's an underrated movie. That's an underrated movie.
I've never seen that. That's with Tom Hanks, right, or something?
Yep.
So Oni Mahoney, he's the front man, but it's like an indie film.
Yeah.
Right? So like he's usually the number 2 guy, and if he's not, he's like part of a big ensemble like those P.T. Anderson movies. Like Magnolia, he's a small-time player. Big Boogie Nights, small-time player. But what he does with those
Moneyball,
roles is ridiculous.
Small-time player.
He's so good in Moneyball. He's like so believable as a fucking.
Good.
Yeah.
I give it. All right, I'll go ahead then. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.
That's solid.
And to me, that's probably like about a 8.9 in Travis's fucking scale. But yeah, that's I like it. Just for me, it's just hard. It's just I like a movie that I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch movies like that. I want to see Phillip Seymour Hoffman in a role where I don't know. There's some sort of
question for you, Wyatt.
Yes.
What do you give the rating for the movie Kids?
Dude, it's been. I have not seen that in a long time. That's a non-redeemable movie. I would not give that a high score. It's just hard for me and to give non-redeemable movies high scores unless they're truly, I don't know, unless they hit me in a certain way that obviously.
That's fair. I just wondered because I thought you really liked Kids. That's all.
No. I couldn't say that that would be something that I would
Okay, fair enough.
But it's like, dude, I've changed a little in terms of what I want to kind of entertain me, you know, like.
Yeah.
I enjoy and I can understand like the amazingness of Phillip Seymour Hoffman and Ethan Hawke and at times Ethan Hawke it was weird. It was very raw the way he was performing. Some of it was like very believable, and some of it was like he's really trying very hard to maybe keep up with Phillip Seymour Hoffman. I don't know, but
that's fair.
It's just not. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how I would ever give that.
Yeah,
that high of a score.
That's your preference. Like for me, the best movie possible is where everybody ends up shooting themselves in the mouth, and you know, like that's the best outcome.
What would be the best example of that movie? I mean, what like when you say that, what do you mean?
Like Down in the Dumps, where everything is completely.
I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? What movie are you talking
Fight Club.
About?
Yeah, Fight Club is like that.
That would count.
But in a way, he still finds love and overcomes the dirty character.
More.
So,
yeah.
Fight Club has a happy ending, in my opinion. He actually he overcomes and affirms himself.
Yeah.
And like White said, the Banshees of Inisherin was kind of like that. Like,
yeah, this
is a classic downward spiral movie where, and I get that. Right? We want as viewers to be like go down, but then we want to go back up, and we want to feel uplifted, happy ending.
Yeah, something like.
I mean, is there a quintessential dark ending movie? Requiem.
Mystic River is a great example.
Donnie Darko.
Mystic River ends with Tim Robbins gets killed, and Sean Penn realizes at the end got the wrong guy, and what does he do at the parade? Oops, and it's nothing solved.
What does he do? He kills himself?
No. He just goes. He looks at the cop and goes, and everybody knows that he knows, but they can't prove it, and he just goes, I fucked up, but nothing solved. He murdered his best friend, and his daughter's still dead.
The movie ends with nothing is solved.
For me, like Wind River was like one of the most heinous movies ever, but but that movie to me was
great ending. Great ending because you get the hero shot.
Yeah,
he gets him to die.
But also wasn't the ending like? But some of that shit was so grim, and like I would never watch that again. But was the ending that
justice is served?
Yeah,
that's a Taylor Sheridan movie.
And I'm not saying that justice need to be served in this movie, but it didn't. There was no. It didn't feel like a movie to me. It just felt like a wide open. Yeah, you know.
I think that's part of getting older. You don't want to. For a lot of people, I mean, I know like my parents. They've taken sort of that to the extreme. Like they only want like fluff, what we call fluff in my household now, like super happy ending. Like they can't do dark at all.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, Donnie Darko though, that would be my suggestion. I mean, that's the worst ending ever. Like, you get crushed by an airplane.
You get crushed by an airplane.
But he's saying,
Travis hasn't seen that.
That's it's been too long. I can't expect people to not.
But Donnie Darko is also kind of a positive thing because it's self-sacrifice. He becomes a hero in a sense.
He's smiling when he does that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess I kind of forget what else happened.
The girl ends up living because he does the right. He does the thing.
People that say he actually didn't need to even sacrifice himself in the end, but he just chooses to because he doesn't want to keep going. Yep. Anyways, but we should watch that at some point. Travis looks intrigued.
I would like that.
I think I'd be okay with that. Definitely.
I brought up a list, and how many of you have seen The Mist? Because that is actually a very fucked up ending.
I don't
want to watch a scary movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
I've heard about The Mist.
That is a fucking
one death in
like
particular.
Nope was not scary. Like,
you know what?
If Mist is not scary, then maybe.
I've seen a lot of The Mist, like people talking about The Mist, and then them saying like, I forget what, but I couldn't sleep for a month afterwards, or I couldn't stop thinking about it for months. Like that movie traumatized people.
Oh,
yeah. I just remember the ending. Maybe it was scary.
Well, it's not scary, I don't think. I mean, I think I've read about it. Basically,
it's like an M. Night Shyamalan scary level where it's like
somebody kills somebody, and then they didn't have to kill them. Is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the movie is like.
I mean, I'm kind of taking out, some of the shock of it, but essentially that's
the
what
father. I'll just spoil it.
Yeah.
The father kills his whole family because he doesn't want like the mist people to like end up taking his family, and then like the mist clears and it's like people are there to save them.
Yeah.
And like if he had waited like 5 more seconds.
Yeah.
They would have been fine.
That's pretty fucked up.
So like people disappearing into the mist was them getting grabbed by people trying to save them.
Some shit like that. It's like starts off in like a grocery store and everyone's trapped in it and people are getting like killed and maybe I'm making up movies, but that's definitely how it ends. Is like guy shoots his whole family.
No, I think the mist are aliens.
Yeah, it's something like that's what I mean. It's kind of like an
it's like if you go into the mist, it's a gruesome, horrible death. So he's trying to save his family, and so to not subject them to that horrible death, he kills them.
Yeah.
But then the whole alien problem is like resolved to 5 minutes later, and he didn't have to kill his family.
Mist clears and the military is there, and they're like, "We're here to save everyone."
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
And he's fine. Like, didn't have to do that.
All right, so I give it a 9 point.
He doesn't just swallow his shotgun at that point. Jesus.
Give your ratings. What's your ratings? Me and
All right, well, Eric,
all right,
Nick, Ben.
6.5.
Wow.
Because I could not stand the cutting. They constantly were showing us shit twice. Like I don't need to be like played with like that. Just show me the fucking movie.
That is the movie. What are you
talking about? That wasn't.
You don't like Back to the Future 2?
You didn't need to start with them. Like, don't get me wrong.
You don't
show me all the Marissa Tomei you want to show me, but you didn't need to start the movie like that. You didn't need to cut every fucking 15 to 20 minutes to a different person's perspective. You could have just shown me the entire movie. It's like that Seinfeld episode that they play backwards. It's like, yeah, you can do it that way, but why?
Because it's just different. It's art.
But it's not necessary. I didn't think it was necessary to make it a good movie. The performances by those actors were great. I think that it was ruined by being cut up into pieces. Just let it flow.
The fact that you knew what was going to happen, because I kind of had the same feeling where it's like, I know this is his mom, but Travis, that's why.
No, but
how did you guys feel?
Even outside of that, as soon as I started watching it again and remembering, like, oh God, they cut it like this and this happened. I was like, fuck, this isn't enjoyable.
And that's fine. You have your opinion.
All right, Eric, what are you giving it?
I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. And I think the first time I saw it, I think it was like a 10 out of 10. But
I would say that my rating was higher the first time I saw it.
I just said that and you argued with me, dumbass.
No.
You got brain issue?
I thought you were trying to make me say that my rating should be higher. But I'm saying that the first time I watched it, yes, I probably, because I had never seen it before.
Right, and what I was saying was you don't
fight him.
Because the cuts are meant to confuse you and hide information.
Well, I also think that I might have started, whenever I watched this, I may have started it slightly.
Like, can you watch The Usual Suspects the second time and get that same feeling when you know?
I wouldn't know.
Those days. Ooh, that's next week.
You've never seen it even once?
I don't think so.
It's a scary movie. It's close enough.
That's got is that a Cosner? Is that a Cosner?
Scary movie uses that whole.
No, Spacey.
They do. Yeah.
Spacey. Okay, sorry. I knew there was a Kevin in it.
Yeah, but I give this a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
If I was judging it on acting alone, I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
But it's a movie.
Well, the story and the editing plays a big part sometimes.
Yeah, you're right, but I think acting is like.
Can you look
that's
up?
Why I got it. That's why I got a positive rating still from me.
Where I'd agree with Ben. I don't agree for this movie, but an example of that for me would be The Master. Everything's perfect about The Master except for the story. I hate the story. I think The Master is like a 4 out of 10, but the acting is 10 out of 10. The way it looks on the screen is a 10 out of 10, but I don't give a shit. and because I don't give a shit, I can't give it. Like I can't care about
That's
it.
like Banshees of Inisherin for me. It looked beautiful,
So
amazing.
It hits people differently. I think The Master is my example of what you're talking about.
Well, and that's like Everything Everywhere for me. I actually like felt something watching that movie, whereas in others I haven't, and so I rated it highly because at the end of the day, when I watch a movie, I want to fucking feel something.
You dumped out your dick juice. I feel you.
Completely understand.
And hopefully, what I feel is a good emotion. Like
I completely understand.
Sadness is even one I would lump into good because you need to cry every once in a while.
You're looking to feel everything everywhere all at once in your pants and other places in your body, your nips.
Kind of like Nick said earlier, it was like
I love Nick said.
Pity for Ethan Hawke. Like I didn't feel pity for anyone, so it's kind of like no one is redeemable quality. So I get where you guys are coming from. Completely.
The only person I kind of felt bad for was Marissa Tomei, because where was she going to get her fix from now on?
How is she going to get to Brazil?
What, you got something from Marissa Tomei?
She's up there on my list of like, if I could have Hollywood actresses.
Hollywood.
I mean,
you know what I was watching the other day and really like going, man, that was an attractive actress. Reese Witherspoon in Sweet Home Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't catch me watching that movie. I'll tell you that much. I'd lose all my credibility.
You've never seen it?
No, I haven't. I haven't tapped into that one as of yet.
Okay, it's not a horrible movie. I mean, it's a what do they call them? Dramedies.
Oh no, I love those.
Rom-com.
Yeah, I like those. I'm into some of those. Sure.
That's a good one.
You know what the Metascore is for this film, Wyatt?
This one here, it's about an 89?
85.
Yeah, they liked it, didn't they? And guess what I gave it? Guess what I gave it?
7.
A 7. Almost an 8. Almost an 8.
Nick,
you're on par with the 100,000 IMDb reviews.
I don't like that. I don't like to hear that.
7.3.
I don't like to hear that because I'm different.
No, you're not. You're the same as everybody else.
I give it an 11. I changed. It's an 11. No one's giving it that.
All right, I'll be brief. It's a 10 out of 10. I put it in the I put it straight. I put it straight in the. I haven't counted them all, but it's somewhere in the top 100 movies I've ever seen. I put it in the book. I take it to the desert island with me.
Wow.
Have a nice day.
That's quite a statement.
A 10 out of 10 movie in my opinion.
That is crazy.
Now,
I didn't do
different.
It's a different. You're like a cinephile, dude. I swear to God, you've been watching movies like that I would never fathom watching since you were like in high school.
But hold on,
earlier.
Eric revised. He said he probably would have given it a 10, but he rewatched it this time and had a different opinion. I'm going purely off of memory, and it's probably been a couple years since I've seen it. But I still.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying.
I've seen it several times.
I think it almost makes sense for me that you regard it so high because I can totally see why. Like it's a.
Oh, but I give it a 9.75 out of 10, and that's crazy.
No,
I agree with you. Obviously locked up. 9.75 is a 10, right?
I'm just telling you from I don't know your past like movie obsessions other than you are obsessed with Terminator 2 and you pound.
You want to hear it? I started watching Empire Strikes Back at 2 years old. My older brother was watching Sesame Street. And I said, I'm not watching that shit. I'm watching Empire Strikes Back.
You know what my dad said? My dad told me a story. He said when I was 3 or 4, we were in Amberley at the time, Wyatt.
Yeah, straight up, dog.
He said he woke up and I was at the edge of his bed.
We have to.
He had rented Reservoir Dogs. Okay, so Reservoir Dogs. And he said I was like 3 or 4 years old at the time, and he woke up and he had left the movie on, and I had gotten into their room and I was just staring at the screen like when the ear cutting scene was happening, and he said this kid's a little fucked up.
See, I'm telling you,
not a good kid.
See, it's weird because like. My dad, I know it's like a story that he like brought me down when I couldn't sleep at night in like either Alien or like he was watching like The Thing. So I was literally watching like sci-fi, like crazy weird shit just as like a, 8-month-old baby. So I'm obsessed with sci-fi. I love everything. It's probably just imprinted in my brain. So whatever you put your son in front of, he's gonna love.
That's actually
That's
that's
true.
actually pretty crazy. Eric, do you have some crazy movie story when you were 2 or 3 years old?
I mean, Nick said this last week. My favorite movie is The Great Escape, and it's solely because my dad would watch it, and I was sitting there with him watching it.
So sick. That's so cool. I mean,
that's the only reason, probably.
Ben, you got some story like that?
Yeah, I ended up watching Poltergeist when I was really young. It scared the shit out of me.
That explains so.
Yeah, that explains everything, and it also explains
never again. He said never again, dude.
So now the viewers know a little bit about the history of how we came to arrive here at the Shoehorn.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, that's just a really good movie to me.
Yeah, it's
great. And coming back really quickly, because I said this earlier, Travis, and you said you hadn't seen it, and Eric will confirm, Eastern Promises is a Travis movie.
That's Viggo Mortensen, Ed Harris.
Good.
Have you seen The History of Violence?
No.
Eastern Promises is better.
Right. It's same director and Viggo Mortensen, and it's a.
Is that the one, Nick, where he does like that?
Is Ed Harris in it too?
I think you showed me that movie. That movie's fucking awesome.
Or no?
I can't remember if Ed Harris is in History of Violence or not, but I think is.
I remember like when it was coming out. It was same year as Devil Knows You're Dead, 2007. That was a good year.
Good year for those Shoehorn movies, those slip and sliders.
The 2000, like when we were seniors in high school, there was a lot of good movies in that era.
There was some good shit coming out. Yeah, that was good shit. Damn, dude.
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, I remember Nick. You showed me Eastern Promises, and I was like, yeah, that was fucking legit.
That's so sick, dude. I don't know. That's an awesome movie for Travis.
Yeah, no, I'm putting it high on the list.
Vigo. Yeah, let's talk about the list. What is next week?
Boogie Nights.
Oh, baby.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Let me see whose turn it is here.
Is it Travis?
It feels like it's been a while since I've done one, but I don't know.
Nick just picked this.
I didn't pick this.
I think I did.
It was an Eric pick.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you brought it up, Nick.
Oh no, he confirmed that he'd seen it. And
Eric said it, and my tail started wagging. That's
we did. Nick did Manhunter, and then LA Confidential was Travis. Y did Everything Everywhere. You did Unbearable Weight. I did this, so it's back on Nick.
Unbearable Weight. What was that?
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't think
yeah.
You participated.
So it's back on me. I mentioned a couple films. Another Phillip Seymour Hoffman is 25th Hour, which is Spike Lee.
Let's get off Phillip Seymour if we can.
What?
Not just do the exact same thing.
Now remember, we have to have a happy ending for these guys here.
That's not true.
Oh man, 25th Hour. The ending of 25th Hour is so interesting. Man. Good movie. Anyway.
Well,
so
like you'll get other picks.
Speak. Let him speak.
You'll get other picks, though. I'm saying, like, don't go straight to another Phillip.
Don't go dark on me here. Don't go dark on me.
Okay, I'll try to think. I'll try to actually use my fucking brain for once.
Don't do it, Nick. Not too hard. Not too hard.
I don't know, man. 25th Hour looks pretty good.
I love me some.
I would be down with that because I don't remember shit about it, but I know that. You know what?
You know what I would love to watch again that I haven't seen in a while, and I will only do it if the majority of people here haven't seen it. Phillip Seymour Hoffman is in it, but he's not. But he's not. He's not like a. He's not.
Come
a
on,
real
give it to us. Give it to us.
You don't have to worry about him.
Come on, Papa.
As far as one of the most interesting storytellings that's ever been done, would be Magnolia. Has anybody seen Magnolia?
I always get confused with Magnolia, Steel Magnolias, and Ripley.
Vanilla Sky. I get confused with like Magnolia and Vanilla Sky.
Lil Wayne from Magnolia Project?
No, Magnolia.
I may not have seen that.
Magnolia is P.T. Anderson's follow-up to Boogie Nights. It has Tom Cruise is in it. like you've never seen him before. Easily my favorite Tom Cruise performance, 100%.
I gotta
That's
have
not Steel Magnolias?
No, Magnolia.
Completely different? How is that? How dumb is that to be in two Magnolias?
John C. Reilly, who is another favorite of P.T. Anderson in his early work, and a serious actor. There is, I mean, it's a huge ensemble cast that's going on. Bookman from Seinfeld plays a prominent role. Bookman is excellent in that. He's also in Boogie Nights. He uses pretty much the cast from Boogie Nights and rearranges them. And he gets a shit ton of money from the studio after the success of Boogie Nights. And the extras are him all coked up with his girlfriend at the time, which is Fiona Apple. It's a fucking...
Oh, Fiona Apple's in the movie?
No. She's in the extras on the DVD. Mm-hmm. She's like in the background with P.T. Anderson just getting coked up.
Should have lied. Sounded like you had been hooked there.
Yeah, I should have lied. But I would recommend...
What movie is this?
Magnolia.
All right, hold on a second.
All right, let's see. Is it streaming anywhere?
I need to start thinking about streaming because I just have it upstairs, you know?
$2.99 on YouTube.
I would say that 25th Hour was one. There was another one I said at poker to you, Travis, that I was thinking about. Oh, the movie Fresh I thought would be a great one for this group. No Phillip Seymour Hoffman.
I can already tell you that I don't want to watch this movie.
Dude, you made us watch fucking Death Smoochie and that.
On a random day in San Fernando Valley, a dying father, a young wife, a male caretaker.
You like 12 Years a Slave, man. Your opinion is not.
A police officer in love, a boy genius, an ex-boy genius. A game show host and an estranged daughter will become part of a dazzling multiplicity of plots, but one story.
Nicolas Cage plays Nick Cage. And Ben loves it. The President of the United States is a duck.
It was real, Nick. It was real.
Magnolia, if you're not hooked in Magnolia within the first 2 minutes.
I just hate that it's like 10. It's another one of those.
That's a hard sell.
10 different stories and intertwine them and show them simultaneously.
Ben will hate Magnolia, and it'll make you realize how good it is.
Yeah. Ben needs like politically correct, simple Oscar drivel trash to be given a good rating.
I just want you to make me a fucking movie that goes from start to finish.
I'm sorry, Nick. The movie is 3 hours, 8 minutes. We might have to disqualify this.
3 hours?
Oh my god!
It's long. Okay,
I mean, I'm gonna watch it if we don't.
Crash is definitely.
I only want Travis.
You know what? Check mark Crash as what I want to be my next suggestion.
What?
What is
Crash?
Crash. Yeah.
Which one? Oscar winner?
The one with Brendan Fraser, or the 19. What is it? The one by J.G. Ballard.
No, the one that won.
With Matt Dillon.
It won.
Yeah, Dillon.
Oh no, I'm so out on that.
Okay.
Fuck no. Fucking hate that woman.
You can't watch a movie that won the Best Picture.
Did it?
Yeah, it's not quite a shoehorn, is it?
It won the Best Picture.
Although it's so forgotten because it's actually not that legit. Like that was a terrible Oscar.
But I wanna watch that again. I remember loving that movie.
You do that on your own time and don't report back to us.
Talk about all the Ben. That is the epitome of a movie with all the interconnected stories.
It could have.
Yeah, you just sparked that flame for me.
You're just saying you hate
Lost
that.
Ben and
I do hate it normally, but that one actually worked for me.
Well, how would you know if this one wouldn't?
I don't.
All right. I'll find a fucking really super linear story for you then.
No, it's fine. We can do this.
It is long. I will say that.
Well, it's long and it's not.
I want to watch it. I want to watch just a normal movie after watching that.
Okay.
Hack job.
I don't see. I mean, I get it, but I just feel like I can't believe people can movies like that where not everything.
I get it. If you don't think I don't get it.
I know, but you're
I
complaining.
get it. I just don't want to watch that.
Hey,
that hack job.
I think it's pretty obvious that guy was 94 when he made that film.
Okay.
Fucking write it.
I would like to nominate then, since it's just fine to nominate. How many people here have seen Eastern Promises besides Eric?
I've seen it.
I don't remember it, so I'll be down.
That's Vigo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Doesn't he do another? History of Violence is another one I'd love to revisit.
That's what I mentioned. It's the same director.
He doesn't listen. He looks at FanDuel and tunes us out.
Yeah.
And then complains.
Who, me?
Yes, you just did it again.
We've already talked about that, all of that.
History of Violence is based off a graphic novel, and it's that director's first movie before he does success with that, and then he does Eastern Promises, which is better in my opinion.
They're both good.
They are both good. Correct.
Well, let's do Eastern Promises then.
Great.
Is that streaming anywhere?
On Stars with Prime Video, so not free.
Oh, I have subscribed to Stars through Prime Video now. When I went to cancel it, they offered it to me for 2 months for $1.99 each month, and I said, for $2 a month, sure.
Yeah, we know they got you. No shit. This is the synopsis to this. A teenager who dies during childbirth. Shut the fuck up. Leaves clues in her journal that could tie her child to a rape involving a violent Russian mob family.
Yes, I love this movie.
What happened in your guys' childhood that this is all we get to watch?
Okay.
It's gonna be redeeming?
Didn't
love
us.
I've got one.
There was 3 buzzwords in there. Mob, rape,
I've got one for Wyatt.
Teenager who died during childbirth.
Okay, so for Wyatt, we'll do The Wizard of Oz.
Nope, seen it.
Okay.
Nope, seen it.
That's kind of.
There he is. Hey, hold on. My backup's here.
There's the boss, man.
Do we need to like cut recording now?
Yeah, boss is on.
I actually gotta go.
Boss
so
man's on.
Let me know what we're watching.
Have fun at the family.
All right.
Eric.
For this week on the movie Shoehorn, Eric, Nick, Jason, Travis, Wyatt, and I'm Ben. See you next week. We're going to do Eastern Promises.
Get the nod.
And well, we kind of need to tell them what the movie is so they can watch with us. That's kind of the whole fucking point.
I said Eastern Promises.
Oh, you did?
Eastern Promises.
Okay.
Eastern Promises. Eastern Promises.
All right, well, I hope that's the movie we're actually going to do.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if
Eric left, so I don't think we can change
Draft
it.
day.
You guys, what did you think of Vigil Morgenstein?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as he is